Hi, my name is Felicity Anthony, and I was one of the athletes in this skills training project along with Nathan. Our coach was Lewis, and the skill we attempted to learn in 5 weeks was soccer juggling. Soccer juggling helps players get more accustomed to using all the different surfaces of their feet when striking the soccer ball. This is beneficial as these skills positively transfer to the real game, where many players use this soccer juggling skill to dodge players as well as score goals. Soccer juggling is classified as a gross motor skill because it requires large musculature in order to be able to do the skill. The skill requires high coordination of the limbs and stability of the body. Our coach Lewis is an experienced soccer player who trains a young team of 12-year-olds, so we thought with his experience and skills, Nathan and myself should see some progress in 5 weeks of training. Our initial tests showed that I was able to achieve 4 juggles and Nathan was able to achieve 6. The first drill that we had in our training program was the thigh juggle drill. We were asked to juggle the ball with one thigh and then catch the ball with our hands, and then repeat this with the other thigh. We usually started this drill at the beginning of the training session to warm up and to gain some motivation, as the task was quite easy. We progressed to 2 thigh touches when we were striking the ball properly. The purpose of this drill was to focus on the quality of the movement and the position of the limbs. Also to increase motivation, as the success rate of completing this was quite easy. It was important to hit the ball on the right surface of the thigh, so the middle of the thigh, or else the ball would go too far forward if we accidentally hit it on our knee. Drill 2 was unilateral juggling. So once we'd mastered the juggling on our thigh, we progressed to juggling the ball with one leg or one foot. This allowed us to focus specifically on each leg, which we soon found had different levels of coordination. The purpose of this drill was to correct the posture by focusing on the position of the arms and torso, as well as the foot contact, which we found was different for both feet. Both me and Nathan found it extremely difficult to juggle the ball with our left foot, but the right foot we found made progress a lot quicker. Lewis gave us great verbal feedback with the unilateral juggling, such as to keep our leg extended and our pose pointed up, so the ball would come towards us instead of away from us when juggling.
The ball comes right up.
Drill 3 was wall kicks. What it required us to do was to stand about 4 metres in front of a wall and kick the soccer ball against it using the correct part of our shoe, which was the top of our foot, like where the shoelaces are. We wanted the ball to return to us at chest height, and the purpose of this drill was to focus on the power output required for each kick and to focus on what part of the foot was required to juggle the ball and how to correct it if it was coming at us at an interesting angle. We found that Lewis's verbal feedback made the task easier rather than just relying on our own trial and error. He could pick up on our postural or limb imperfections, and he was able to correct it. I also found when Lewis gave us demonstrations, it also made the task easier. Drill 4 was the bilateral juggling, which was literally practicing the skill in its entirety to see how we were progressing with the number of juggles that we could perform using the correct posture and movement. We started off with catching the ball in between each juggle and then progressed to just juggling non-stop. We found that the more feedback that we got from Lewis, the more we were able to correct ourselves and the more juggles or successful juggles we were able to get. And the last drill that we had was the thigh juggle and catch. This drill required us to have be with a partner and stand about 4 or 5 meters away, and our partner would throw the ball towards our legs and we'd have to control it with our thigh and then catch it. The purpose of this drill was to simplify the movements so that we could focus on the quality of our body rather than the amount of juggles that we were getting. And we also did this with our feet as well as our thighs. Our post-test demonstrated or showed us that we in fact did improve with the number of soccer juggles that we could do. Initially I could get 4 and I was able to get 7 in my post-test, which I was very proud of. I did have to have several trials of getting my post-test. And Nathan in his pre-test was able to get 6, and in his post-test he was able to get 11, but he only got 7 on camera. Which me and Nathan both agree that for both of us was more of a fluke that we improved in the videos as opposed to actually improving in the skill. So yeah, that's our quantitative results. We both saw an improvement in the amount of juggles that we were able to get. And as for our qualitative results, we divided up the foot contact, body movement and the amount of juggles into 3 sections, beginner, intermediate and advanced, and Lewis ranked both me and Nathan as beginners still, because despite our improvements in being able to achieve more juggles, we both still use the inside of our foot and the outside to make the juggles. Our movements were also uncoordinated and we weren't able to comfortably juggle with both our feet. So using Fit's 3-stage model of learning, Lewis ranked us in both in the cognitive stage of learning, as we are still relying on verbal feedback to correct our errors. And we had to think a lot about what we were doing, so it wasn't coming to us automatically. But Lewis saw an improvement in the foot contact in my right foot, which became more consistent, and he also mentioned that I avoided using my left foot because I found it really hard to coordinate. He noted that my movements became more coordinated, but still need some improvement. In regards to Nathan, Lewis said that he was striking the ball with the top of his foot, which is not ideal. He wants to contact it with the middle, the top bit, but the middle where the shoelaces are. His legs were not fully extended when juggling the ball at times, and his arms appeared tense. But he attempted to use both his right and left feet to make contact with the ball, which Lewis was proud of. In regards to changing the program, Lewis suggested that having more sessions together to receive feedback may have increased the likelihood of success, but ultimately the skill just takes a lot of practice to master. My reflection on the program was that I found having Lewis with me during training was a great motivator, and having him give me verbal feedback and encouragement really facilitated my learning. I found the soccer juggling skill really frustrating to learn because it is something that looks simple enough but requires a lot of practice in order to master the coordination, balance and correct power output in each kick. I was really excited to begin training initially, and mastering the skill, but I lost quite a bit of motivation along the way when I didn't see results, and especially when Nathan was improving a lot more quickly than I was. I found that I enjoyed working with a partner, and the social aspect of learning was motivating for me. So strategies that I've learnt from this project that I can use in my future career as a teacher would be to ensure that I know what motivates the learner and design a training program around their motivation to ensure success. Nathan's reflection on the program was that he saw a negative transfer of skills in the plantar flexion of his foot. As his chosen sport is running, it teaches dorsiflexion. Ideally, he would have liked more group sessions with Lewis and myself. However, a limitation to our project was that we all live on different sides of Melbourne, and Lewis was away in Spain for 2 weeks, which we're really jealous of, but therefore we couldn't utilise his verbal feedback as much as we would have wanted. Nathan also found it hard to stick to the routine of practicing the skill, and believes that his result was mainly fluke more than improvement of skill, which I agree with my result. And that's the end of our presentation. Thank you for watching.